London never really sleeps. It just pretends to. Even at 3 in the morning, the city breathes quietly through empty streets, glowing windows, and the distant hum of traffic. Samuel Nutkin knew this well. By day, he was invisible. A mid-level clerk in a financial compliance office near Canary Wharf. Grey suit. Clean shoes. Quiet desk. The kind of man no one remembers after a meeting ends. By night, Samuel had secrets, and someone had discovered them. The message it began with an email. No subject line. No greeting. Just 3 attachments and a single sentence. We know who you are. Pay £50,000 or your life collapses. Samuel stared at the screen. The attachments loaded slowly, painfully slowly. Photos. Him. A hotel room in Croydon. A woman who was not his wife. Different dates. Different angles. Clear enough to ruin everything. His marriage. His job. His reputation. His hands trembled, but not from fear. From recognition. Because Samuel Nutkin had seen situations like this before. Not as a victim, but as a soldier. The man they didn't research, the blackmailers assumed they had an easy target. A clerk. Soft. Predictable. Ashamed. What they didn't know, what they didn't bother to check, was that before spreadsheets and compliance reports, Samuel Nutkin had been a corporal in the British Army. Infantry. Northern Ireland. Later, Afghanistan. He had learned how people behave when they think they have power. He had learned how threats escalate. And most importantly, he had learned how fear sounds when it leaks through words. And this email reeked of amateur fear. Playing the role, Samuel replied within the hour. I need time. I don't have that kind of money. The response came quickly. Too quickly. They were watching. They demanded proof of funds. Set deadlines. Escalated the threats. Classic mistakes. Professionals move slowly. These people were hungry. Desperate. And desperation makes noise. Samuel paid a small amount. Just enough to seem cooperative. Then he waited. The second contact a week later, they slipped. They didn't use email. They called. Block number. Heavy breathing before the voice spoke. You think we are stupid? Samuel recognized it instantly. Young. Male. Local accent. South London. Not organized crime. Just predators playing dress-up. He let his voice shake. I'm trying, he said. Please. The man threatened to send the photos to Samuel's wife. Samuel thanked him. Then quietly began building a map. The old training wakes up Samuel didn't go to the police. Not yet. Instead, he did what the army had trained him to do. Observe. Record. Wait. He tracked email headers. Logged call times. Noted speech patterns. He noticed something interesting. Every contact happened between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Never earlier. Never later. Shift workers. Or men afraid of being overheard. Then came the mistake that sealed their fate. They asked him to deliver cash. The drop a public car park in Stratford. Sunday night. Minimal cameras. Too confident. Samuel agreed. He arrived early. Parked in shadow. Sat perfectly still. When the blackmailer appeared, Samuel saw everything. The nervous walk. The cheap hoodie. The way he kept touching his pocket, checking the phone. And the second man, pretending not to know him. Amateurs. Samuel stepped out. Handed over the envelope. And smiled. The switch inside the envelope wasn't cash. It was a letter. Printed. Calm. Precise. It listed their IP addresses, their phone record screenshots of their online activity, and one final paragraph: you have committed blackmail, extortion, and harassment. I have already contacted legal counsel and documented every interaction. If you contact me again, once, this information goes directly to the Metropolitan Police. The blackmailer laughed. For about 3 seconds. Then his phone vibrated. So did his partner's. Simultaneously. A text message. From Samuel. Sent using a delayed trigger. Their home addresses. Silence. When predators realized their prey, the second man bolted. The first froze. Samuel stepped closer. Not threatening. Not loud. Just controlled. I wore a uniform once, Samuel said quietly. You picked the wrong man. He turned and walked away. Didn't run. Didn't look back. Aftermath: the threats stopped immediately. No more emails. No calls. No whispers. 3 months later, Samuel read a short article buried in a local paper. 2 men arrested in South London for blackmail and digital extortion. No names. Just charges. Samuel closed the browser. His marriage didn't survive. That damage was already done. But his life didn't collapse. And the people who tried to destroy him? They learned something far worse than fear. They learned restraint. Final thought: blackmail only works when shame is louder than courage. Samuel Nutkin had lived through worse than exposure. And the men who threatened him learned a final lesson. Some quiet people are quiet because they dangerous, not weak. And once you wake that part of them, you don't get to put it back to sleep.